Hey, what is up guys? So last week's patch for Tears of the Kingdom was mainly to stop people from doing glitches like duplicating infinite diamonds or breaking the game physics. But good thing that the community is a little more dedicated than Nintendo. So it didn't take long for the internet to break the game yet again, and in this video I will show you all the exploits that are still possible to do even after you update it. This goes from getting infinite rupees to getting near infinite speed and height. So Nintendo will probably release another update this week, but until then, here's what you can still do. The first glitch we start with is the motor launch glitch that was found by a Paradox game. This will launch you into the air or any direction of your choice with insane speeds if set up properly. What you need for this glitch is a Zonai motor from the Gimmick Shrine, 2 cards and a plank. Now build this exact contraption with 2 cards that form a T and put the motor at this end of it. Then attach a plank to the motor. And depending on where you want to go, you set up the motor and the plank in the right direction. We will build it like this because we want to go upwards. Once this is done, you use Ultra Hand and move it towards an immovable object. For whatever reason, this will charge the motor up to absolutely insane speeds. You literally get the same effect that you get on car wheels, because the screen is not capable of seeing the actual motion of the plank in between the frames. Then keep it like that for a couple seconds until it is fast and press L to get the ability menu. You want to use recall on it, but it's important to know that the plank moves a little when you press recall. Get a feeling for how much it will move after stopping. I have a feeling this is different on each Nintendo Switch, as it might be performance related. Repeat opening the menu and go back to Ultra Hand if you don't like the current position. Then when you got that right, use recall and it should be as good as horizontal now. Now activate recall on the plank and quickly move on top of it. This will launch you super high. There is way more distance possible. It is possible to go from the underground to the highest playable point in the sky. Now while we are on speed and movement glitches, the following glitch is near obsolete now because of the one I've shown you first. But let me show you for good measure. This is a recall launch trick that you probably heard of before, as it also worked on 1.1.0. For this you need a spear and 2 boards, or other flat surfaces that you can fuse to a weapon. Combine one of the boards with a spear, but put the other board flat on the ground. Now for this you have to be rather quick. Make sure to put your L menu onto recall so you can activate it with a quick press. Then aim the spear for a throw and try to keep it slightly above parallel to the ground. Now once you have thrown it, press L to stop the spear around where the board is. Then while time is starting to rewind, switch to Ultra Hand and attach the board to the hilt of the spear. This works best when you attach it to the side of the board, rather than the horizontal surface. Then, just jump on the board and use recall on the spear again. If you have done everything correctly, you will get launched into the air like this. The reason why this works is because the spear rapidly spins when you throw it. So if we use recall, the board simply gets spun with the spear. Now even though Nintendo tried removing the duplication glitches, there are still plenty of those left. Although they are slower than the ones that worked before patch 1.1.2, here I will show you 4 duplication glitches that still work, going from fastest to slowest, so you can pick the one that you are the most comfortable with. Now before we start, I want to make sure you are aware of this Goron NPC in Terrytown, in the pick apart shop, as we need this guy for most of these duplication glitches. He is used to unfuse a weapon and its material without losing the material. So with him you can do weapons, but also stuff like diamonds through just attaching them to weapons. So the fastest one is the shock duplication glitch. This one only works inside Link's house, that you can completely design yourself. You want to buy the rooms where you can store weapons. There's one for bows, shields and one for weapons. Depending on what you're duping, you will need a specific room. Best case would be to just get all the storage rooms. And once you've done that, all you need besides your item of choice is a shock emitter. You want to place it next to the stand so it will shock you at the same time as you put your item on the stand. The reason it works is because getting shocked lets Drink drop his weapons. So we want to exploit that and have a new weapon cloned to the stand while our weapon drops to the ground. For this, just try to press A to display the weapon at the same time that you're getting shocked. Best is to attach a stabilizer onto the shock emitter so you won't get the pick up prompt, and so your dropped weapon won't move it accidentally. This one has a margin of error however, so right here I will show you the least tedious duplication glitch. This one, even though it's slower than the shock duplication glitch, I personally prefer much more, as you can use this one if you have problems with doing the right timing on any of the other glitches. I'm doing this right here, but it's best to do it in Terrytown right next to the Goron, as we don't need anything else for this. So once we are ready, we save the game. Then instantly load it again, just to check if your position is the same after loading. There are many places, like Link's house, where reloading puts you in a random place. So once we made sure the position works, all we do is hold R with our weapon. We want to abuse an error in the system that appears when an item just left the inventory. To do this, we need to release R and save the game as soon as the weapon leaves the inventory, but before it is actually in the game world. Now here are 2 very easy ways to do it that most YouTubers don't tell you about. What you do is hold R, then without releasing, we just press pause. Now we release R and want to unpause the game for a split second, so try to hit pause twice as fast as possible. What you want to look out for is that the weapon is actually not in your inventory anymore, but Link is still throwing the weapon and it hasn't left his arm yet, so we keep double pressing pause until we don't see the weapon in the inventory. Then we go over to the rightmost menu and load this save again, and if we did everything right, there should be 1 weapon on the ground and 1 in your inventory. If you still have problems to get the timing right, there's another way. Instead of pressing plus, hold the weapon and press minus. Then go to the adventure log and watch a cutscene. Don't worry, you can instantly skip it. You do this a total of 4 times, then you hit plus straight from the adventure log to go to the inventory. If you don't have a weapon equipped in your inventory, you are good to go now and can reload the save. If it is still equipped, watch the cutscene once more and try again. The reason why this works is that the game world continues for 2 frames when we start a cutscene. And depending on the size of your weapon, you might have to skip frames 1 more time than with other weapons. The next glitch is the Octo Rock Duplication glitch. This one utilizes the Octo Rocks that can be found all over rocky places in Hyrule. I have marked one here for you, but really any of them work. Now you want to take any weapon you want to dupe. Then you drop the item in front of the Octo Rock so it starts sucking it up. Then, right before it enters the Octo Rock's mouth, you will recall the item. If you timed it right, the recalled item will come back, but the Octo Rock will still spit out a copy of your weapon. Now it is very important that you get close to the Octo Rock while he is chewing your item, as you have to pick up your recalling item before the Octo Rock spits out the duplicate of the item. This is what makes this glitch a little tricky and annoying as well. The other glitch is slightly faster as you don't need to travel from an Octo Rock to Terrytown, but it takes a little more practice. For this you will need 2 unfused shields, 1 unfused weapon and the item you want to do. Now best thing to do is just go to the Terrytown NPC I mentioned before. What you want to do is drop the item you want to dupe. Then take some steps back from it and activate your fuse ability. With this you can see how far away exactly you can stand at. Now once you did this, hit L to open the fuse menu. But right after you hit L, so before the menu actually opens up, you hit ZL to fuse your item to the shield. Now don't let go of either of those buttons. What you do now is press B and instantly after you press and hold the left D-pad to open your shield menu. From here you switch to your other unfused shield. You should now have a diamond below you and one on your first fused shield. Now it is important to not open the inventory, otherwise the diamond will disappear. Instead hit L and fuse the diamond to your weapon. Now same with the previous tip, you let the NPC break apart your items to get them back. I hope this was helpful to you. Now of course these duplication glitches are much slower than the first ones that were found, but as soon as a faster method is found I will let you know. Consider subscribing if you liked the video.